Hey guys, this is Max, and today I traveled all the way up from Munich to Wetzlar, the home base of Leica Camera, for a very special event that takes place here tonight. We will see the introduction of a seventh photographer into the Leica Hall of Fame, but most importantly, we're all expecting to see the new Leica M10, so the newest digital camera in the Leica M system. All sorts of specs have already been leaked, and there are all sorts of rumors out there. But I just want to wait for the actual event to take place, and I'm hoping for a hands-on, and I'm hoping for a really good presentation. So let's see and head over to Lights Park. At the event, I was suddenly surrounded by every Leica camera model currently available. People carried the Leicas like jewelry, showing off the latest models to impress colleagues and friends. I'm estimating that there were easily a couple €100,000 in camera value present at this launch event. And of course I suddenly felt almost ashamed for filming with our trusted Panasonic Lumix, simply because it is better suited than the Leica T for such a purpose. Interestingly, there were hardly any film cameras in sight. The event then finally started. Joel Meyerowitz was honored for his life work with the Leica Hall of Fame award. Karin Rehn-Kaufmann, who is the art director and director general of Leica Galerien International, found the appropriate words to introduce this amazing photographer.
He is a magician in colorful, in using color in a wonderful way, as well as in capturing and framing the decisive moment. And on top of it, he's a wonderful person.
Joel then joined her on stage and stated that he has been using Leica cameras for 55 years by now. He provided the audience with some insight about his approach to street photography.
In fact, nothing is ever going on in most of my photographs. It's just a moment. And in that moment, if something like a gust of wind or an arrangement of people appears, and I get a sense that a moment has arrived, the Leica is there in my hand to make a photograph.
Then it was about time for the main event, the introduction of the Leica M10. To stress how deeply rooted this camera still is in Leica's tradition, the original Leica, also called Ur-Leica, was brought on stage. This treasure usually resides in a bank safe and was only brought out for this particular event. And as another nod to tradition, the night's jazz band played the original tune that accompanied Leica's first radio ad. This was quite a nice touch.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the original. I've already seen it once in reality, and this is the second time.
Now the big moment was finally there. The Leica M10 was brought to stage in a similar fashion as the Ur-Leica and placed next to it. Leica CEO Oliver Kaltner then explained all the camera's novelties in detail in an almost Apple-like presentation.
The Leica M10 is the slimmest digital M of all time, with a top light depth of only 33.7 millimeters, and many photographers who appreciate the dimension of an analog M due to their ideal ergonomics and perfect fit in the hands really express their wishes for precisely this for digital M cameras. Leica now has realized these dream dimensions, so we listened and learned. A key component of the Leica M10 is the new 24 megapixel full-frame CMOS sensor. It's a sensor that is specially made and developed for this camera only. Its new technology leads to significant imaging performance in all parameters, and is really relevant to imaging performance. It's all about impressive dynamic range, It's about excellent contrast precision. It's about exceptional sharpness and finest resolution of details. Thanks to the new design of the sensor, the ISO sensitivity range has also been able to be expanded. It now enables exposure at values between ISO 100 and 50,000, 150,000, with improved noise characteristics and higher ISO settings. The Leica M10 opens up entirely new areas of photography and delivers exceptional imaging performance even in difficult light conditions. And you know, Leica always tries to find the best solution when the light conditions are difficult. The latest generation Maestro 2 image processor, as you can see on the picture, of the M10 reflects the state-of-the-art of advanced processor technology. In combination with the new 24 megapixel sensor, this ensures that all exposure captured impress with exceptional brilliant picture quality, while of course ensuring the typical look of the picture taken with a Leica M. With a continuous shooting rate of 5 frames per second, the Leica M10 is also the fastest M camera ever made by us. The rangefinder has always played an extremely important role in the heritage of the Leica M system. A number of important aspects of this legendary focusing technology have now been further optimized in the Leica M10. To improve the photographer's view of the subject, the field of the view has been enlarged by 30% and now has a magnification factor of .73. Another milestone in the history of Leica camera and the latest member of the legendary M family. Please welcome the Leica M10.
As the evening's culmination, Leica apparently planned to hand over the latest model to its most recent Hall of Fame member, Joel. And that of course made perfect sense because the evening was all about art on the one hand and gear on the other one. But by the time that should happen, the crowd had already kind of split up and behaved rather disrespectful towards the photographers on stage. Many people were already on the way to the Leica store on the other end of the building to get their hands on the M10. And that was kind of unfortunate because it made apparent that, of course, it makes sense for Leica to use the photographers to sell their products and kind of as a leverage. But at the same time, you are kind of hoping, at least I was hoping, that people are also very interested in the art and the photographers themselves. And I personally got the feeling that most people were there for the new gear. And also, as I mentioned in the introduction, being surrounded by all these cameras that were carried like jewelry, it felt like the focus was maybe too much on the gear than the art.